Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening from wherever you may be across the globe. I'd like to bid you a happy new year. It's a new one. Thank God we found we're privileged to be on this part of existence. I'd like to welcome you to my special program today. I have a very special guest in the studio today that I'd like for you to also meet. As usual, I will leave my introduction for my guest to do. By nature, he is a very modest personality, so I would lay foundation. My guest is a two-time lawmaker in the Nigeria House of Assembly, 2015 to 2022, where he served as a two-time lawmaker in the Nigeria National Assembly. I would leave it at that and then turn to my guest to help with completing that introduction. My guest is Honorable Sergius Ogun. I don't want, as we say at home.
Yes.
Well done, sir. Good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
At home, we'll say, at this time, we'll say Senowe.
Yeah, always no.
Welcome to Edo Citizens, sir. My pleasure to have you today. Yeah, I'm finding it difficult to, create a path to your personality. You were in the National House of Assembly for a two-time member of the National House of Assembly. First of all, let's meet you from you.
Okay, well, you have done a good introduction already. If I may just add a little, I am Sergius Ogun. I like to describe myself as a family man. I am a deacon with the husband of one woman. And I'm very proud of that. Okay. And then I have two lovely children, biological children, and I have thousands of children because of the program I do, assisting the indigent students to enroll examination, then give them scholarship to universities. And I am a businessman turned politician. My heart is still in the private sector, a farmer, and I like to do good to humanity.
Wow.
So I'll leave it at that for now.
That's a strong word. What does that entail? Do good to humanity? Does it?
When we go, there's social imbalance.
Okay.
There are too many people have been left behind in this world, not just in Africa or in Nigeria or even Edo State. I'm one that believe that they say all fingers are not equal.
Yeah.
Then people say we're all created by God. But if we can just look inward, we will see the imbalance in the system. What does it take to give back to the society? Because today, yes, in my church, first Sunday of the month, we usually pray and fast. So yesterday, that was it. Then my stomach was growling just now because I've not had breakfast today. Not because I cannot afford to have breakfast. Yes, because I got engaged in activities this morning to get here and I'm, heading to the airport. Yes, just activities. But there are people that woke up this morning, they don't know where their next meal will come from. And these are parents that have children. That can break a man. That can break a woman. And yet we're in a society where people are flaunting wealth, when people are stealing the country blind. So my take, what will it take to just make sure you have functioning healthcare center in every community? Good schools, primary, secondary, in every community. And create the enabling environment where people can fend for themselves. Yeah, you guys are in the big city here. Yeah, but what about those of us that are in the rural areas? They should be able to go to their farms They are not asking government for anything. Just give us access road to our farms, to farm and bring out our produce and go to market and sell. That's all the rural dwellers are asking for. Then those in the metropolitans, clear the drains. What's the work of the local government? So you have here, people are suffering from malaria bites, children are dying from it, from malaria, as simple as malaria. But go check the drains. In big cities, they are all filled. What's the work of the local council? How come the drainages can't end up somewhere? Simple gradient. Let them end up, water should end up somewhere. If it cannot get trucks, tankers to suck those water away. But they are all filled and it doesn't cost anything to do these things. And yet you have government drinking champagne in government house and flying private jets all over the place. So for me, these are basic mundane things that we can do to take care of our people. And when you close a blind eye to it, I think there's going to be judgment. But let's not wait till the last day when God will judge people. Let's begin to point those things out to them. And whatever we can do to address some of these things, let's begin to do them today. But I know it does not cost anything. In the private sector, I realized that when I could put my hand in my pocket and do stuff for people. Then serving in government, I also realized that it does not take anything.
Yeah, let me take you back, Honorable.
Yes.
You were in, I want to look at you, a bit of you, whilst in the National Assembly. But before getting to the National Assembly, you were in the private sector, as you have said. You were in the oil and gas majorly.
Yes.
I guess. And then you got into the National Assembly 2015.
Yes.
You were there for two terms.
8 years. Yes.
Can you let me into your activities around that time? How much your impact was felt in that assembly? I do know from record that it was said that from those members of the assembly from Edo that you featured a large chunk of your bill in the, or maybe I should just let you flesh on that.
Yeah, I believe, okay, let me go back a bit. I'm actually an accidental politician. Yeah, it wasn't something I ever thought I was going to do. I keep saying this, hope I'm not going to start sounding like a broken record. 2005, we rebuilt my dad's house. And
that was where?
In Uboha, my village, yes. My quarter is actually Otokimi.
Eastern Southeast
local government, yeah.
Edo State.
Edo State, yeah. So we sank a borehole there, a modern house. And then my mom said we should bring out the taps so that the community could fetch. They used to go to the stream before now. Or get water from water tankers to supply water to those that can afford it. So we did that and they were full of praises. And I was wondering, borehole, this day and age. So from there, I now started visiting because they received me so well. But for a long time after we lost my dad in 1974, we're not really going home. We moved from my village to Urumi.
Okay.
And that's where we majorly grew up. My siblings, my younger ones went to school there. And so now, coming back home, they showed me so much love. So because of that, I started visiting home more often, and I said I wanted to farm. They gave me massive land, almost 250 hectares of land for free.
Wow.
Go and farm. So that brought me closer to them. So I was always home, and for that, I saw them closely.
Yeah.
Those in higher institutions, in my quarter there, I would give them money. Okay, in short, I'm embarrassed not to even mention the money. 10,000 naira.
That's at that time.
Then, and they were excited that somebody was helping them. Then others will come to say they wanted to enroll NECO and WAEC. I would enroll for them. They would say, okay, they want to move to another village, this where the school is. I wasn't asking a whole lot of questions then. And then others will come and say, okay, the puppies that no notebook. Because when I see some of them, why are you not in school? We have no bought notebook. When I asked the parents, we had to say Gary to buy notebook. Notebooks? You knew they were going to resume. We knew, but the money is not just sitting down there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how much is this? So I have a friend who's a school proprietor who told me, we can actually print. It doesn't cost a whole lot.
Yeah.
He gave me a budget. And I was to print for those just in my village. And he said to me, just print for the whole local government.
Wow.
I said, okay, fine, go ahead. And he said, also print for the other local government.
Wow.
Because I grew up there, Uromi now. It's a Northeast local government.
Yeah.
And most of these individuals we are talking about, the school proprietors from Uromi, most of the people around me that we even distribute it were all from Uromi.
Yeah.
You know? Then we had a house in Uromi where my mom lived in Uromi. So I just come to the village, most times I'm in Uromi. So they put it together and then we started distributing. Yeah. So, and then I had clothes that were not used. My wife packed them and said, I'm clustered the whole house with clothes in the wardrobe, put them in 3 suitcases. I mean, my contemporaries won't take clothes that I have used.
Yeah.
So I brought them home, and then some younger ones took some. Whatever was left, we sent to the prisons. Well, we're going there. Once upon a time, I used to live in Lagos, and I was involved in prison and hospital administration. So we'll go and minister to people that are not well in the hospital and then in prisons.
What kind of administration was that?
We'll go and pray with those in prisons,
okay.
and then we'll give them soap and some things
Sounds
to use.
like you're a Christian too.
Yeah, I've been a Christian for so long.
Wow. We'll come to that.
So I said, okay, if we send clothes to them, it's good to know what they need. Let's also buy rice and beans and all. So the person that went came back and said, they don't have water right now. So they see if we can help. I said, okay, see they are using tanker to buy water. I said, okay, we can assist with that, but you can't do that forever. And it's okay, we can help them with the borehole. I said, let's go and do it. So we sank the borehole. And then there are 1 or 2 communities that they needed borehole too. And so they started clamoring, look, we have not even voted for you. You never asked us for a vote.
And then you did all of this.
Yeah, those that we voted for don't even do any of these things for us. So that's when they started the agitation and clamoring for me to run for office. Started. They didn't tell me the whole truth. They told me, with all this one you have done, the day you come out, that will just be it. They will vote for you and you'll be, okay, fine. I said, what does it take to represent the people? It was a struggle at home. My wife didn't want to hear. My siblings didn't want to hear. But my kid brother, I kept pushing everybody that it doesn't take anything and all that and all that. Eventually, they allowed me. They caved in to the pressure from my kid brother. And then that was it. So that's how I became a politician. But like I said, they didn't tell me the whole truth. By the time I indicated interest, those in office then wanted to now do a 3rd term.
I'll be right back at this.
We had a tradition when we used to do 2 terms. They now said we wanted to do 3rd term. I wanted to go home and just forget about it. But the young people that came out, the minute I indicated interest, will not even hear of me going away. And I look at them, look at these young people pushing for me to come out. Yes, I have something to go back to immediately. But what about them? Yeah. So that is how I became a politician.
I'll be right back on this note. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it. Yeah, welcome back. I have been talking with a governorship aspirant in Edo State, 2-time member of the National House, the lower house of Assembly, the Green Chambers, that is, Honorable Sergius Ogun. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So, as they say in our place, they say, why harasser? So, now you won election and you were in the National Assembly. How was life in the National Assembly? How much could you do as just a member amongst many?
Well, as you remember, 2015, being a member of PDP lost the center. Jonathan lost.
Yeah.
So we were elected and I became an opposition member.
Oh.
I didn't have too much expectation. And I was consoled with the fact that, by the fact that we had somebody like Buhari in what people expressed then as PDP members that, look, this is a disaster. We have lost the presidency and all. But my consolation was that with all that I had heard about Buhari, is a disciplined person, he's going to turn things around. I encouraged myself with that. So when I went to the assembly with the mindset that, look, we are going to work for Nigerians. We have a president that's going to whip everybody into line, and then we should do what we ought to do. That was my mindset going in there. But when I got there, I learned the politics firsthand. You're in opposition, you are limited in what you can do. But as God will have it, the speaker then was elected largely by PDP.
Okay.
So supposedly he was soft.
That was who was that?
Honorable Yakubu
Dugara.
We had his ears, but he was an APC member.
It is what it is.
Yeah, yeah. So initially he was doing APC. There were some motions he would not allow us to take. There were bills he would not entertain. But see, when himself and the then Senate President, Senator Bukola Saraki, fell out with Buhari, before we could not have that free access to them. But talking about the ministries and agencies that you could write to for projects, they were no-go areas. So the experience wasn't very fantastic initially, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
We have to manage, we have to work with the system being in opposition. So it was tough to push bills and motions through as an opposition member and to even get projects into the constituency as an opposition member. Initially, some of those projects that we even got into the budget were not cash backed, which means they were not done.
Yeah.
So that was the initial struggle. But hey, we are Nigerians. We survive anyway.
Yeah, but you, in the midst of it, it's on record that you were able to make some impact back home. Back home, I'm aware that you were involved with some road construction. Some you've mentioned quite a few around that axis.
Yeah, is it because I believe is public office is to render public service. If your constituents elect you, the least you can do is to give them quality representation. I was discussing with a clerk of a committee once in the National Assembly, and he told me if anybody that's elected that comes to Abuja and does not have at least 2 to 3 degrees is a lazy person, university degrees. And I thought about it. So am I a lazy person? Because I know most of my colleagues do it, and I'm not blaming anybody. If I'm elected to come and serve the people in Abuja, is improving myself by getting additional degrees part of that? Yeah. Did I tell them? Maybe if you tell them during campaign, if you had told them during the campaign that when you elect me, I have a degree now, or I have masters, I will come out with 2 PhDs. Yeah, maybe I'm sure even Nigerians, we are very accommodating. They probably will not have minded, they probably would have said, okay, fine. But if that was not part of the social agreement between me and my constituents, why come here to do it now? Where is the time even? The time I should be spending on the floor of the house, is that the time I should be spending in school? Because I saw myself as a believer, as a watchman. Because there were bills that came to the floor of the house that were contrary to my beliefs, that were anti my religion. And we shut them down. And what I asked myself is, if you were not on the floor of the house that day, what would have happened? Yeah.
If you were probably somewhere in class and
exactly. Yeah, but there are times we went for oversight that one was not on the floor of the house. If things happen, they will go and challenge them. But yes, that's oversight is part of my work as a representative of the people to oversight the executive. Yeah. So it's official. But to say that I was elected to represent people to do A, Y, Z, and I'm doing something outside that completely, is not acceptable. So for me, I give attention to the work, because that is why they elected me. So there was no room for other things. So whatever modest achievement I had in office is the least I could have done for my people. The least. Because once I was telling my kids that we should go home. I was talking about I come home and you guys are in your rooms and then you don't even come spend time with me. So what's the need? Taking out time to come home. And my daughter asked me that, okay, Dad, will you prefer we go home with you? We don't even see you, but we're at home and you are everywhere. And people will come and climbing you. You don't have time for us when we go home with you. I said, those people you say that are climbing me, they come out in the rain and in the sun to vote for me. for at times up to 12 hours. She was like, really? Because she just turned 18 last week.
Okay.
This week, really, in the new week, you know. So she doesn't vote. She's just saying that she's going to register to vote. So I was like, does it take that long to vote? I said, yeah, because you come out early, you do accreditation, you vote, then you escort the vote to the collection center, the ward, and then maybe some of us will go to LGA. Someone say, hold there. And she was like, wow, they must really love you. So that is it. So for people that will suffer to come under the rain, under the sun to vote for you, the least you can do is to go out there and work for them. That is where they get the benefits of that suffer, that sacrifice
that they make.
And so for me, that was nothing too much. No sacrifice was too much for me to make for my constituents. So I wasn't ever looking back. There was no day it was the case of I'm not well, I can't go for sitting today. Or I am in town, I have something else to do, I cannot go for sitting. No, I was always there. Somebody even made reference to it one day. We were meeting with Governor Wike, and somebody said that, pointed to somebody like me. I said, look, people like Sergius are always there. So I just challenged the guy. I said, what does the meaning of that? So Wike and I said, no, it's actually, it's actually complimenting you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I said, because if we are not there, they will bring up manner of things. So that's when Wike just said, look, it's actually complimenting you. He didn't say it, he didn't mean it the way you're thinking of it. And that's it. That was why I was elected, to go there and work for my people. And the least really I could do is to go there and be their voice, then take projects to the constituency. Because that's when they see the dividend of democracy. Yeah. We don't have access roads to farms. And I came from a largely agrarian community.
Yeah.
And these are people that don't even feel the impact of government. So create roads so that they can go farm and then bring out their farm produce, take them to the market, connect the communities.
I'll come to that, Honorable. That would take me to what is probably appear to be your next calling.
Mm-hmm.
You are desirous of being the next governor of Edo State for an election that would hold in September. So September, yeah.
Yes.
The current governor vacates his position. The current Governor Godwin Obaseki vacates his position on November 12th or
yes.
11.
Yeah.
And then you are seeking to fill that position under the cover of Labour Party.
Yeah.
First of all, why Labour Party?
Well, somebody interviewed me once. Amechi Anakwe of AIT in this program. He called me to say, look, I just went through your bills and your motions. They are pro people. I said, yes, that's who I am. It's okay. Can you come to the studio the next day? Come to the studio tomorrow and let's talk about them. And I went to the studio, just talking basically about Nigeria, the country, and how we have left the people behind and all that. So I am a people's person. Okay. I came from a very humble background. As a child, I hawked bread. There's something they used to call mokaka. This young generation will not know. So you might know a little about that. Mokaka, then ice fish, anything that could be sold, my mom would sell. And I was hawking that in the village to support the family.